The principal of a Northland school with up to 250 unimmunised students says he knows of at least 6 families who will not let their children be vaccinated because they don't believe in it. In the last 2 weeks, Northland has had 2 confirmed cases of measles, which is highly contagious and can prove fatal. With the region having some of the lowest immunisation rates in the country, that's left health officials scrambling to ensure it doesn't spread, and principals are being encouraged to exclude students who haven't had their jabs. But schools say it's just not practical to keep potentially thousands of children out of classrooms, and parents need to get their children immunised immediately to avert a crisis. Our reporter Nita Blake-Persen and cameraman Nick Monro have been in Northland today to speaking to one of those principals.
In the playground at Hora School, Principal Pat Newman is doing some simple maths. He reckons he's only seen immunisation certificates for 150 of his 400 students. If the school was forced to exclude or segregate the remaining 250 who aren't vaccinated, that would create a big problem for him.
I mean, you look out there, there's hundreds of kids. Where do you put them? And so, as I keep saying to you, and I keep repeating it, let's hope common sense prevails.
Mr Newman says it's possible some of the 250 students at his school who don't have immunisation certificates have actually had their jabs but have lost the paperwork. But he knows that's not the case for everyone.
We are aware of at least 6 children in the school whose parents firmly are of the belief that it's not right to immunise. There's probably more. Those are 6 we know about.
He's trying to get word out to parents about the urgency and the seriousness of the situation.
The odds are that if you get measles, 1 child in 1,000 will die. That's the figures. The odds on a child dying from being immunised are way, way, way further out from that.
Because if schools are told to exclude or send home students who aren't immunised, he doesn't know how he would manage it.
What happens though if a parent says too bad and just sends the kid to school? Do I put an electric fence around the school? Do we grab those kids as they come in and put a star on their arm or something to say you're not vaccinated and you're vaccinated?
Northland DHB yesterday sent this letter to principals right across the region. It says Northland is experiencing its lowest immunisation rates for many years and has some of the lowest rates across New Zealand. The anti-immunisation lobby and the impact of social media, anti-science and the Vaxxed movie, which was shown across Northland last year, have had a significant impact, it says. It also notes that immunisation is critical for the health of children and the wider community, and rates need to increase to improve safety. Parents we spoke to outside Hora School weren't too worried about the low immunisation rates.
My daughter is having her children immunised, even though she is reluctant to. On balance, she gets them immunised.
Your kids are immunised?
Yeah.
Why is that important?
So they don't catch any bugs.
Would you prefer if kids who weren't immunised were kept away from your children?
I would just suggest for their parents to get them done.
Do you think children who aren't immunised should be excluded from the classroom or kept away from the ones who are?
I don't think so. No. Because once you are immunised, I think it's protected from, so.
Makes it harder to keep it contained when there's kids that aren't immunised, but that's a parent's choice.
Pat Newman has sent a list of the students at his school who do not have immunisation certificates to the Northland DHB to be cross-referenced with their records. No one from the DHB was available for interview today, but Mr Newman says he'll be wanting more immediate action from it if this measles outbreak is to be stopped in its tracks. The Education Minister, Chris Hipkins, says children shouldn't miss out on school just because their parents are what he calls pro-plague or anti-vaxxers. He's putting the onus back on the Northland DHB to step up and ensure the region has sufficient immunisation levels. In Whangarei for Checkpoint, Nita Blake-Persen, Aho.